Well, I figure we should probably talk about this because this is a really big deal. Like, a really big deal. And it's just so stupid. Like, this whole thing is just. It's stupid, honestly. Because if you, for some reason, haven't heard the news yet, the SnyderVerse is canceled, basically. Because Ann Sarnoff, who isn't the head of Warner Brothers, like, there's a couple people above her, but she's, like, right up there at the top. And in an interview with Variety, I believe it was Monday, she said not only that they have no plans to do the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, but also that Zack is done at DC, his trilogy is done, and they're not going to pursue the SnyderVerse. I was like, well, why? Like why would you not do this? It's so stupid, especially because, like, you know, one of the reasons she gave was the toxic fan base. I mean, every fan base has toxic people. You know, that's not something you can help, and like that's not really that good of an argument. And then also she goes on to say, like, we want to go in a different direction, and we want to move forward with our new DC multiverse approach. All right, sure. I mean, that's actually more evidence to support the fact that you should do this, because I mean, if you're doing multiverse, and sure, you want to continue with your DC movies and everything with, like, The Flash and Black Adam and Shazam and all that stuff, and you don't want to connect the Snyderverse to that, all right, fine, if that's how you want it, but that doesn't mean you don't have to do the Snyderverse. You're literally saying you're doing multiverse. All right, just keep doing the Snyderverse. Just make it a different part of the multiverse. It's so simple, and man, these people don't make sense, especially because, like, this Zack Snyder's Justice League and, like, Restore the Snyderverse and everything about this movie has been trending on Twitter literally since the movie came out, and even before that. It's been trending for weeks, all this stuff. Almost everybody that has watched this movie has liked it, at least a little bit, and most people have actually loved it, and that's including the people that even hated Man of Steel and Batman v Superman and everything else from Zack Snyder. People love this movie, and it's just so stupid for this person at the top of Warner Brothers to come out here days later and say this and literally shut down the hype. Like, it's like they don't want money. Like, literally, they're making so much money off of this right now. It's getting so much viewership on HBO Max because everybody loves this movie. And, you know, usually when you release a new movie as a movie studio, you want to hype up that movie so then more people will watch it, and then you'll make more money. But instead, they're doing the complete opposite, and basically they've just given more people a reason not to watch it. So people that haven't watched this, maybe they were thinking, like, oh, maybe I should check this out. There's a lot of hype around this. Everybody loves it. And then they see this, and it's like, oh, well, if it's not going to continue, then what's the point? Yeah, what is the point? There should be a point, and it's just like a slap in the face to all the fans. We've all been rallying around this stuff, around Zack Snyder and this whole movie and this whole Snyderverse. And, like, the DC stuff that they're doing in the future and stuff that they've done in the past with, like, Aquaman and Shazam, I love that stuff. And I'm looking forward to the Suicide Squad and Black Adam and the Batman and the Flash. I'm excited for all that stuff. But the problem is that they're going about this the wrong way, because right now DC's plan basically is to do all these different solo adventures, which is something that I like seeing, but they're not connecting stuff. That's one of the things that people loved the most about Zack Snyder's Justice League, is that it set up a whole universe. Like, you look at a movie like Aquaman, great movie, I love that movie. But all it does to set up this universe is just the Aquaman part of this universe. Same with Shazam. It sets up a lot for a Shazam sequel, but nothing else. Like, Superman was in that, but he didn't even have a head. So, it just... the DC wants to be like the MCU. They want to be like Marvel, but they're literally forgetting the one thing that makes Marvel so successful. It's the continuity and how everything connects. Like, DC is now doing these series on HBO Max that connect to the movies. Like, we're getting Peacemaker and the GCPD spinoff, and that's great and everything, and Marvel's doing that as well. But still, that just connects to one project. And then really the way they have it right now is that the general audience, fans of this DC universe, we don't have to watch all these movies to know what's going on. With Marvel, you have to watch every single movie to know what's going on. Like, you have to watch Avengers Infinity War before you watch Avengers Endgame, because nothing would make sense. Even a small movie like Ant-Man and the Wasp that most people wouldn't be interested in, you need to watch that to know that Ant-Man got stuck in the quantum realm, and that Hope and Hank and Janet all got dusted. I mean, spoiler alert, but the movie's been out for like 3 years now. So that's DC's problem here, is they need to start a whole universe here. And this Zack Snyder's Justice League created this universe that it's like, it's all sitting right there in front of them. All they have to do is just take advantage of that. And, you know, again, they don't even have to release this stuff in theaters or anything. They can continue to do their main DC movies that are planned out by Walter Hamada and everything in theaters, and then their series on HBO Max and everything. And then they can just keep the SnyderVerse on HBO Max if that's the thing they want to do. Or, you know, I don't know. There's some conflicting stuff here, because there's also parts of this interview that may possibly leave the door open, because the words that she specifically uses, Ann Sarnoff, when she's talking about this, is that they won't be bringing the Zack Snyderverse into their mainstream DC universe or something like that. So that does leave the door open for HBO Max, and that is a great way of doing it. Or she said that this is it for Zack, and like Zack Snyder's trilogy has been completed. All right, so maybe one way that I would be cool with them doing this is, all right, maybe Zack is done with DC, and that would suck, because that's another great thing about Zack Snyder's Justice League, is that you can tell that it's made by fans. That's another strong suit for the MCU. Kevin Feige is a fan of Marvel. DC doesn't have a Kevin Feige. But with DC, maybe they move on from Zack, and if they could at least continue to tell these stories and continue the Snyderverse, maybe just without Zack Snyder, I could see that possibly happening. Do a softish reboot for Justice League 2. And then there's a whole bunch of other projects I want to see from this. I want to see that HBO Max series about Batfleck that continues the story that was supposed to be the Batman vs. Deathstroke Ben Affleck Batman movie. Throw in Jared Leto's Joker too. Give us a Cyborg HBO Max series or movie, whichever one. I loved his character in this movie. Give me more of that version of the character. Henry Cavill Superman. They can reboot Superman all they want with a black Superman. That's cool and everything. Just give me more Henry Cavill Superman. I don't care if that's a Man of Steel 2 or whatever. Give me a spin-off about Ryan Choi as the Atom, Martian Manhunter. There's so much set up in Zack Snyder's Justice League that we need to restore the Snyderverse. And Warner Brothers would just be so stupid not to do this, and it just doesn't make any sense at all. So, guys, let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below. Would you like to restore the Snyderverse?